Good morning, guys. This is Lauren from the Backyard Farm. I'm going to be doing a garden tour. I just did one a week ago, but there's been so much growth in my garden that I thought you guys would really like to see what I have going on. So to start with, here are my Indian blanket flowers. So I'm going to have to move some of these out because originally when I planted them here, I thought that they were an herb. I mislabeled them, and they're going to get too big for this container. I mean, I could have one, but they get really tall and full, so I don't want it to just take over my whole container. Here's a rosemary. This is my lemon basil. And here is my Cuban oregano that my friend Katie gave me. It's doing really well. Here are some of my ghost peppers or boot jalapenos peppers that I started for my husband. These were the smaller ones, so they're still on my shelf. Some of the other ones I've already moved out and I'm hardening them off right now. Watermelons, they're doing really well right now. There's one hidden under there too. I thought was doing really slow, but it's gotten a lot of growth on it. And it's got lots of flowers all over it, so that's exciting. These are some collard greens that a friend started for me, and I'm hardening them off. They're doing really well. I still have my red romaine lettuce here, and it's doing really well still. I'm really surprised that this is still growing. Here's one of my ghost peppers that I'm hardening off. And here is some of my basil. It's bushed out really nicely. This is one of my sunflowers. I love how it has little blooms all the way down the stalk. I've already cut 2 of them off. I let the seed heads form and I've been giving them to my chickens, and they've really enjoyed that. Another ghost pepper, and these are some red sunflowers. My Lima beans are still growing, producing lots of beans still, doing really well. So this is a huge Brussels sprout plant that is like completely falling over, and I might have to take it out. I wanted to keep it because I've still been harvesting it off of it, and I wanted it to flower so I could keep the seeds, but it's just getting so big. Maybe if I stake it up it will do better. But underneath of it I have lots of little surprises. This is actually a carrot sprout that just popped up. Here's tomato. There's actually there's another little tomato sprout there that I did not plant. My basil. So here I have some more ghost peppers for my husband, and this is some more basil. This is 2 basil plants, just sweet basil. And this is a tomato plant I have. These are a yellow saladette tomato. They will turn yellow when they're ready. This plant had about 5 other tomatoes on it that were really decent size, but we had a really strong wind and it snapped the whole branch off, so that's unfortunate. But I still have lots of tomatoes on here, which is great. Those that I will probably move, and these are chives that I've been growing. Here I have parsley. Here are 2 more tomato volunteers, and this one's actually flowering. And underneath I have a volunteer lettuce growing. I don't know how long that will make it, but if it's in the shade, so we'll see. Pickling cucumbers. That one's not doing so well. It might be too close, so I might have to pull that. There's one there and one over there. So wanted to make another trellis in here, and I planted some other cucumbers that popped up here, here, and here. This one I've already got on a stake. It's doing really well. These are all the same Chicago pickling cucumber variety. And And this is a volunteer tomato next to this cucumber, so I'm going to have to move one of those, probably the tomato. They're more forgiving in my opinion. These are all some radishes that I have that I've been growing. I've been harvesting them a little bit at a time. And this is a yellow pear tomato. Unfortunately, I believe it has a disease. I'm not entirely sure because the top leaves are this bright yellow green and they're shriveling up and really tiny. So I might have to pull this plant, I'm not sure. So here's some sunflowers, but this is mainly watermelons. Over here I have Georgia Rattlesnake watermelons. I have a couple of baby fruits on there, which I'll show you. They're super tiny though, they've like just started. And these are my Clay County yellow meat watermelons. Here I have green beans growing in these blocks. They're doing really well. I have sunflower, some zinnias. This is a yellow summer squash. And these are two plants that are, this one is huge. I didn't realize they could get that big, but those are zucchini plants, bush variety, and they're flowering. I haven't gotten any zucchini yet, but it looks like I will soon because there's a female flower right there. You can see the zucchini there. Some seeds, if you're interested in what I've planted, I have a seed starting video I did at the beginning of the season. There's one there. These are all mixed up, so. And this one looks sad. I don't know what's going on with it. It's the only one that's not really growing. So I might try moving it. I'm not sure. There's another one. They're all doing really well. And it looks like they're starting to put out little buds. So I will more than likely start pruning these pretty soon. I usually prune them to where there's the whole bottom part is just a stem. I get these little arms off the bottom so they're not touching the soil. And they usually shoot all their energy up to the top and produce lots of fruit, and they get really tall and strong. Here is a zinnia. And this is a Tabasco pepper. And this is doing really good so far. Here are some more sunflowers. These are both supposed to be red sun sunflowers, but this one looks different to me. So I'm not sure if that is a different one. It has a lot more like green petals going inward than this one does. I guess we'll just have to wait and see. I've had to give these guys some help getting off of the ground. They really wanted to be on the ground, but I'm thinking they'll do better with mildew and stuff if they're up on the trellis getting more aeration through their leaves. But you can see lots of female blooms on here. There's lots of them, so hopefully we'll get lots of little cantaloupes. That would be great. Here is my Zucchini Ram Picante, and it is just like huge. But it's got lots of these squash on it already, and these things grow so quick. I mean, like, this has only been pollinated maybe, I don't know, 4 or 5 days ago, and look how big it is already. So that's really cool. These are supposed to taste like zucchini if you harvest them young, and if you let them get bigger, you can save them like a winter squash and they taste like butternut squash. Yeah, that's what I've heard. I did hand pollinate this one yesterday. And there's also another one here that was pollinated. Well, I actually hand pollinated all 3 of them. So these vines are really prolific, which is great. There's my zucchini on the other side, and over here I planted this tomato I'm hoping it's not too close. I planted it about 18 inches away, but that zucchini got huge, so I'm hoping it's not a problem. But it's doing really well, so that's great. Here are some zinnias that I have. This is a purple prince. This was supposed to be a purple prince, and I'm not sure the variety, but it's really beautiful anyway. And on this trellis I have my Kajari Melons, which are doing awesome. There's some that have lots of fruits on here. So I've never grown this before, super excited about it. But there's 1, 2, there's another one through there, I don't know if you can see that. 3, there's another one right there. These guys are really prolific. Oh, there's one there too. And this one is shaped kind of funny. It's like an oval where the other ones are really round, which is cool. So, and then we're back to the watermelons on this side of the bed. There's my sunflowers again. And these watermelons are just spilling out of the bed, which is perfectly fine. Let's see if I can find that little baby one that I pollinated. I hand pollinated this one, and it's been there for a couple days, so super tiny. And here's a pretty sunflower. So I'm going to turn over to this bed now. And my sunflowers over here have not opened yet. They're a lot smaller than the other ones. That's okay. I have, this is a white patty pan squash that I've been battling the bugs. So I did get one squash off of this and it was delicious. My kids loved it. It was super sweet. But we'll see if I get any more. Here is my Seminole Pumpkin. It is just taking off all the way down, and you can see it all the way there. And it started flowering. So this one's closed up. It was open yesterday, but there's another one gonna open probably tomorrow, which is really cool. Here's my Mongolian giant sunflower. Chicago pickling cucumber. And then here is a much better looking one. Here are my Jacobi little pumpkins. This one just has tons of female flowers. That's the ones with the pumpkin on it. If you can see, there's like tons of them on there. Not sure if they got pollinated or not. Here's my other one. These ones just look sad. I've been battling bugs with them. But this one definitely did get pollinated, so I'm hoping it will grow to full size. Sunflower, it's doing really well. It looks very happy to me. I planted some red Malabar spinach on here, and they're sprouting to go up this trellis for the summer. Sweet potatoes, they seem to be doing well. Then I have a zinnia. Here's my jalapenos. They're doing really well. Both of those plants are jalapenos. And then over here, I have another purple prince zinnia. And this one's actually a purple prince. It's just opening up, very pretty. This one's really bushy and happy here, so that's good. Little teepees that I made out of bamboo poles because I have these painted lady runner beans that are growing on them, but they're not doing that great, so I'm not sure if I'll even get anything off of them or if they'll grow very well because they've been very slow growing. And it seems like only 2 or 3 of those vines are actually even doing anything, so I don't even know if I'll get a harvest, which is really sad because I planted an entire packet, so I don't know, we'll see. This is a Illinois squash. It is a white crookneck squash, and it's been flowering. It's doing really well. So, and then here's another one of the same variety. Looks really healthy. I haven't had a big problem with bugs on these, so that's really nice for me because I usually don't see any flowers open today, but it's kind of overcast. So these are my Jing orange okra. I have 3 of them over here. I planted these ones out after the other ones, so these are a little smaller, but they're doing really well. In the center of this bed, I have a striped zinnia. There's actually 2 of them there, and they seem to be doing really well. I also have some violet sparkle peppers, and they're doing well. I just planted that one out, and it seems to be doing fine. And then I also have one over here, which is really tiny because I'm far away, but it's doing great. Everything in this bed's doing awesome. So that is really good. And I have 2 spots here that I'm going to be planting some of my husband's ghost peppers in. So that's why there's nothing here and here. So thank you for following along and seeing what I have in my garden. If you have any questions about anything, just, comment below. I hope that I encourage you to try growing something. It's not always the best. I mean, I have things that are dying and being eaten by bugs, but I also have other things that are doing really well. So the more you practice and try, the better you'll get at gardening. And I just hope to encourage you to start your garden, even if it's just like 1 plant. It's a lot of fun and it's really good for you. I love it. But thanks for joining me, and I'll see you next time.